It's not uncommon for two stars working on the same film to have disagreements. We all know of the beef between Will Smith and Janet Hubert, who played the original Aunt Viv. The Rock and Tyrese even had a little back and forth about the production of Fast 9. Having a conflict at the workplace is nothing new under the sun. A blending of egos, masculinity, and two entertainers eager to show audiences that they can do more than what they've been known for is exactly what happened on the set of Any Given Sunday between Jamie Foxx and LL Cool J. Here's why Jamie Foxx and LL Cool J were at odds. Jamie Foxx began his career as a stand-up comedian. 2 years later, he would receive his big break by appearing as a cast member on the sketch comedy show In Living Color. Foxx made a name for himself and was able to show off his wide range of various characters on a weekly basis. After having guest roles on sitcoms like Rock, Hanging with Mr. Cooper, and Moesha, Foxx eventually got his own sitcom playing Jamie King in The Jamie Foxx Show for 5 seasons and 100 episodes. Jamie also had a movie career, mostly based in comedy. Booty Call, The Players Club, and Held Up to be exact. At the time, Foxx was looked at as just a funny guy. And on the other hand, you have LL Cool J. He gained notoriety after releasing his debut platinum-selling album, Radio. From that one album, LL became one of the most successful mainstream hip-hop acts around the world. What followed was a string of multi-platinum and Grammy Award-winning records, which solidified LL Cool J as one of the most popular rappers in the game. In the late 80s, LL began to try his hand at acting, and it turns out he was pretty good at it. LL made his film debut in the film Crush Groove and followed that up with playing a rapper in Wildcats and a detective in the film The Hard Way. In 1992, LL had a role in the film Toys, which coincidentally would become Jamie Foxx's film debut. In the late 90s, Oliver Stone began developing a film around football, growing up as a fan of the sport. It was his goal to tell a story about football while mixing it with an A-list cast and some real-life NFL figures. The film follows a third-string player, Willie Beeman, getting a chance to prove to everyone that he can play after one of his teammates gets injured. A subplot features the team's aging coach coming to terms with his own strategy of play and considering reevaluating. The making of the movie was all in all a chaotic process. The NFL initially signed up to help with the film, but when they realized the film would be a realistic portrayal of the crazy behind-the-scenes drama of the NFL, they pulled their support. Casting for the film was just as brutal as an actual NFL training camp. Actors had to survive memorizing lines while enduring a physically intense and chaotic shooting schedule in the blazing Miami Heat. Originally, Will Smith was supposed to play the role of Willie Beeman, but Will wasn't interested and pulled an Uncle Phil and threw the script out of his Bel Air mansion. Chris Tucker also decided to pass on the script as well. Diddy, who was going by Puff Daddy at the time, was one of the picks that actually made it to the field. Puff showed up to the set with a huge entourage, which turned off Al Pacino, who was also starring in the film. It seems the party, glitz, and glamour of being a rap star clashed with Pacino's more subdued, quiet confidence of being a method actor. Although Puff went to go get acting lessons, when it came to game time, he would ultimately get cut from the movie for a number of reasons. Puff said in a XXL interview in 2010, "I was the #1 artist at the time and had to cancel my European tour. They were pushing the movie back and pushing it back, and it got to the point that I was losing so much money. I was like, I can't wait. The director was like, your tour doesn't matter, but it does matter. I waited for a year. I wanted to be a committed actor. But at the same time, you can't tell me that it doesn't matter. I just made the decision. I can't have my life controlled and not know when they are going to make the movie." Others allege that the reason Puff got cut was he couldn't throw a football convincingly enough to portray a professional quarterback. Eventually, Jamie Foxx, who actually played football in high school, was cast in the movie as Willie Beeman, the third-string quarterback, and LL Cool J was cast as Julian Washington, the starting running back. Both Foxx and LL were at the top of their game in their respective arenas, and were eager to take their careers to the next level by showcasing their versatility. Foxx especially wanted to show everyone that he could do more than just make people laugh. Now, on the set, Jamie hugged and thanked NFL player Jamie Williams, who was a technical consultant of the film. Foxx said to Williams, "I'm here because of you. I had to audition X number of times to get this position, and this is the position for me. I played quarterback in high school. If you don't stay on Oliver and get this movie done, I'm gonna do Booty Call Part 4. This is my opportunity to show I have chops beyond comedy. The stage was set. Two successful entertainers in their field trying to cross over and stake their claim with this film. And then when the lights cut on, so did Jamie and LL's egos on set. According to producers, there was a competitive spirit between the two since the first day of filming. Bill Bellamy even confirmed early tension between Jamie and LL. I knew it was going to be a problem when LL Cool J said, "Let's compare bank statements." On February 27th in 1999, on the set of Any Given Sunday, is when their competitive spirit would take a turn. According to the Miami-Dade police, LL started pushing Foxx and then punched him in the face while wearing a helmet. Allegedly, LL said something disrespectful to Jamie, reached over Al Pacino's face, and smacked him lightly. As a response, Jamie said, "If you want to do this, we can do this." LL's excuse was that he was improvising. We came back to shoot the reverse. What does LL do? He hits Jamie. What does Jamie do? Effing hits him back. Al Pacino is in the middle of the scene acting, doesn't know that a real fight is going over his head. The entire crew came out to the field to break up the fight between the two. Director Oliver Stone called it a fun mess. According to actor Andrew Bernarski, after the fight, Jamie stood next to a camera crane on the field, and LL snuck up from behind and smashed Jamie's head against the crane. Punches started flying once again. According to reports, Foxx would tell police that after the incident, he was struck by LL's arm in the back of the head while walking away. And when questioned by police, LL would explain that he pushed Foxx to make things appear more believable for the movie. Every time we shot the scene, I never got a chance to say my line because they started fighting. It was hilarious. When asked who won the fight, co-star Bill Bellamy said, LL Cool J, obviously. The beef between LL and Jamie would extend beyond than just filming. LL threw shots at Jamie on his 2000 track, You Can't F With Me. Once and for all, what's my opinion on Jamie Foxx? He pussy, plus he ain't funny as Chris Rock. Ha. Jamie would later tell his story from his point of view on his 2002 HBO stand-up special, I Might Need Security.
And we get to arguing so much, and the next thing you know, he hauled off and hit me. Now, I ain't no punk about my shit, but I wasn't ready.
Dennis Quaid, who also starred in the film, had this to say about the brawl years later. It erupted 30 seconds after I left. I heard a ruckus and I came back and it was over. To tell you the truth, to this day, I still don't know what it was about. I know it was about ego. I don't take sides on anything, but it all got cleared up. They should get down and do a rematch. Now, fortunately, years will go by and the two of them seem to have since put the beef behind them after making up. In 2006, Foxx was featured on LL's album Todd Smith. Also, Foxx would then go on to bring out LL as a special guest that same year at Hot 97's Summer Jam concert. In 2017 interview with the Drink Champs podcast, LL Cool J would open up about the incident. He punched me in my face. I looked at him after he punched me in my face and I told him, "Why would you do that?" He said, "I told you before, don't put hands on me." When he said that, my left hand grabbed his face mask, and when I was pulling his helmet off, my right hand was punching his chin. When asked about what changed between the two of them, Foxx said, "He has done his things, got himself together, was selling records. It was right after the Oscars. We looked at each other like, why are we wasting all this time? Let's get together and do some music, do some movies." Foxx has continued by telling everyone to expect a lot of collaborating between the two of them soon. And they have since made the piece official with a celebratory collaboration on a single called All This Love. For black entertainers, sometimes the best thing we love about them is their confidence, their attitude. Unfortunately, in a situation of testosterone and competition, that confidence can quickly turn into egos. What could have been a permanent fight between two titans has turned into a lesson about moving on.